we have to recap the keys to success. This is off of a segment that we do during the regular season called Keys to Victory. But in the preseason, we're not looking necessarily for victory, even though we did get the W, snapping the 24-game win streak in the preseason of the Baltimore Ravens. Thank you very much. But we still want to see things. We still want to see progress. We'll see moves made. So, Will, what were we both had 2 last week. What was one of your keys to success?
So I was looking at watching Sadiq Charles play. He was back in the starting lineup and getting a chance to prove himself. And I thought he came out looking pretty well. There was a couple moments they had him pulling a little bit, and he showed his athleticism. I think the offensive line in general played significantly better against the Ravens than they did against the Browns. Now, albeit the Ravens were sitting some of their marquee guys on defense, especially along the defensive line. So kind of really have to factor that in. The Browns sat some of theirs, but not all, whereas like the Ravens did. So, you weren't going against the starters, but I thought Charles did well. And I think he's done well enough where I would say he has won the left guard spot. And I think it's because if you look at any time that they can put him in as a starter, they are. He can be out for a couple of days, and then when he comes back, they plant him in as a starter. And I think it's clear that they see something in him, that he brings something that Chris Paul does not. And that they want to see in there. Now, I know some of it has to do with, they say he's extremely athletic for his size. And so, I think good that he got a chance to play. So it looks like our entire starting offensive line played last week to get some of that continuity. And it kind of seems like he has solidified himself as the starting left guard. So good for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And again, best ability is availability. Glad to see him on the field. And solidifying his position. You went out and you challenged him a week ago, said, hey, we need you on the field to show why the coaches love you so much. And that is what we saw. One of my keys to success was to get ahead of the chains. I don't know, 50-50. I thought we had some good moments. We only scored 17 points in the first half, which on one side you're like, okay, we did enough moving the ball, but then when you realize we played against the 2s and the 3s and we had our starters out there, it's like, you know what I mean? And I think one of the things they had the after practice press conference with Eric Bieniemy today, and EB was saying, he thinks we're kind of where we need to be, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And that is what I like. We're not at Super Bowl caliber right now or yet, or even playoff caliber. We need to work to that. We need to figure out this offense and really get going. And he kind of said the same things for Sam. He said he's exactly where I expect him to be. And he learns, he self-corrects, you know what I mean? He's very into it, takes the work home. I love those things, but there are still some things where you're just like, I need you to look here. And he has a great in-house with Jacoby Brissett working with them. And even those guys have all been learning from each other. So where does that translate in the game? Well, we had more first downs. We had more overall stats. We won the time of possession, those type of things. But there was times that sacks got taken. Now, we only had 3 in total in the game, but if you go back and look at the one play where you have Sam back in the pocket, he's looking around, nobody's open. In the first week, we saw he scrambled out. Check. No, the reads are open, moved out. This time, it looked like he was holding it, and eventually you're going to get sacked. He took a big loss. I think it was 3rd and 15 after that. He redeemed himself, which I love. But still, we're putting ourselves in situations that we're having a problem getting out of them. We've seen what happens from last year, and now we're learning this new offense. It's one of those things, and especially with the screen game, I'm really expected to see a huge improvement in the screen game. That's what EB brought from Kansas City. Like, that's something we've been able to do. And I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe our linemen are blocking the best in space, or we just the timing's not right, but we got to get little things like that down. So there's a lot to work through that we can have. So I personally, like I said, 50-50, we're ahead of the chains at times. And when we needed to, the urgency was there, we moved up. But when we were not ahead of the chains and when we got behind, we saw the things it's like, here we go again. So we're working there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and in our positive and negatives, we're going to get into I've got some things about Sam Howell and some of those sacks, which I thought, it was a great learning experience, for him out there.
Oh, yeah.
My second keys to success was D-line improvement. Yeah. And that is an incomplete. The famous Sean Spencer grades for the grades for the draft? I think you did.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
Just haven't seen enough. Incomplete, man. I just haven't seen enough.
But it's incomplete because I did all this, and then Monday afternoon I find out that we're resting our entire starting defensive line. Yep. I was like, well, this isn't going to work out. However, I was a little bit curious to see how our backups would do. James Smith-Williams, Casey Toohill, Benning Potato, and John Ridgway, and then Efe Obata rolling in there along with Andre Jones. And I will say this, they kind of sucked. They kind of were bad. I was interested to see, like, some of those guys, when they've rotated in with our starters, have been serviceable backups.
Yeah.
Toohill has made plays. James Smith-Williams has made plays. Ridgway has been a stalwart and made plays. Yeah. But collectively, they are not a good unit. Yeah. They got destroyed by the Ravens. Yeah. In that, and now also some of it may have been the Ravens really passed the ball in that first drive with Josh Johnson a lot, and so that kind of negated maybe what they could do. None of those guys are pass rushers, so it's like that's not their ball game. But boy, did they, that backup defensive line did not look good.
No, I remember I was watching back like the first couple drives. And I just fast forwarded through the defensive part. I was like, I can't even with this. Like, because we're not talking about Lamar torching us. We're not even talking about Huntley. We're talking about Josh Johnson and Anthony Brown that are torching us, man. It was, and there's a lot of things that I think this was, our offense did look good. Defense finally locked it up when needed. Yeah. When needed,
a little times. Bit. That's always been Washington's MO. Yeah. They'll let you go all the way to the 20, and then they bring in. Although I will say this, and it was going to be one of my negatives, but like that interception by Quan Martin is so complete luck, and I don't know if this is what Anthony's talking about. Prochet's got to bring that ball in, and the throw has got to be there sooner because the route won. Yeah. The ball didn't. The ball was so late that he got his hands in there and made the play.
Yeah, he was beat.
Oh, he was torched on that.
But and even to that point, like when I first saw it in fast, at game speed, I'm just like, oh, snap, he's in the air. He took the ball away from him. Oh, great. And then you slow it down a little bit, and you're like, no, he didn't take it. Oh, the ball bumped into his hand. Oh, he almost fumbled it away. Really? Yeah. Yeah. And then barely stayed in. Look, I'll give him the credit for getting the interception, but let's be very honest, and we'll talk about this in the negatives. Jartavius Martin had he struggled.
He hasn't had a good preseason yet. He's had a big welcome to the league moment. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's talking about Jake Fromm. Yeah, Anthony, man, I'm telling you, when we got the ball back with 2 minutes left, I said, this is it, Jake. Either you score here or I'm being serious. Go to Athens and go take attendance for the football team because you're done in the league. Well, he scored, so now he can be on the practice squad. Good for him.
Hey, Jake lived to see another day. Let's go. Johnny said, did I miss much? No, our normal pleased to get Cody Mock back, but other than that, nothing. Pretty good. Yo, and really my bitter. I want him. Come on, man. Oh man. But look, my last key to success was bring home field advantage back. Now, you can't really 100% get that feel when a game really does not matter, like last night. And obviously, you don't have the starters in. You don't have the stars, the big game guys. But for the things that I mentioned earlier, Will, the amount of people that came out on a Monday night, no less. Yeah. This is not a Friday or a Saturday. It came out on Monday night. You had the stands. I'm not going to say they were filled, but you heard us. You heard us loud and clear. We were into it on nice plays. The place erupted.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, second, third down completions, big plays, places erupted. The guys were into it. I will say, as far as with the home field advantage, a couple of things we did talk about that we did wanted the new owners to do was to take a line out of Arthur Blank in Atlanta and get those concessions down.
Mm-hmm.
Will, it was 20. Kat, when we first got there, got a 16 ounces cans.
Mm-hmm.
She got one of her drinks, the White Claw or whatever,
mm-hmm.
a Gatorade and a water.
Mm-hmm.
And she almost spent $50.
Uh-huh.
I no. I said we're not getting anything else while we're here. Like this, it's just pointless. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is still an issue. But as far as the fans, they're turning up. And another thing that we've been talking, we know this. Not everybody's on board with Commanders. It was split 50-50 for what you saw in attire. It was Redskin stuff and a lot of Redskin stuff. Kat was decked. She had a couple things. That's all she had was Redskin stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was Commander stuff. And you saw some of the new jerseys, like the all black, Terry McLaurin and Chase Young and all those. That was dope. But you saw a lot of people rocking their old same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to die hard. A lot of people are going to die on that hill. They love the name Redskins. I'm not going to take that away. And it doesn't look like anybody in the stadium or associated with the team is really in a hurry to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So people are still rocking it. People are still repping it. As far as us, as far as getting that home field advantage, and just like you said, Buck and Troy Aikman, they felt the excitement. They felt the how we were coming back. So I'm with it. I like it.
Yep. Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.